I still can't comprehend the frightening occurrence that happened to me last week. To be honest, I didn't believe it would happen to me. But fate has a way of playing tricks. Let me begin by stating that my wife Mia and I had been married for a little over a year and appeared to be the ideal couple. But if everything had been so smooth, I wouldn't be writing this. So I'll start from the very beginning so that everything is clear. The beginning of this madhouse dates back to October, when my wife got promoted at work and moved to another office. I was so proud of her. She deserved the recognition, and the bump in pay was an added bonus. However, her new role came with a transfer to a different office, one that was farther from home and filled with unfamiliar faces. At first, I thought the change would be good for her, but it didn't take long for things to shift in ways I couldn't ignore. Mia's promotion coincided with my busiest season at work as a software developer. The end of the year was crunch time, with deadlines looming and projects piling up. I buried myself in my tasks, thinking that my hard work would pay off. But the more I worked, the more distant Mia became. She started spending more and more time with her new colleagues, especially a group of women she'd grown close to. They were always going out, grabbing drinks after work, celebrating milestones, or simply unwinding. At first, I tried to be supportive. I didn't want to be the husband who smothered her or questioned her every move. But when she began coming home late more frequently, my concern grew. The first major red flag came one chilly November night. Mia hadn't come home by the usual time, and my calls and texts went unanswered for hours. My mind raced with worst-case scenarios. When she finally stumbled through the door at nearly midnight, she looked flushed and flustered. "Where were you?" I asked, trying to keep my voice calm. "Oh, Tyler, I'm sorry," she said, her words slightly slurred. "We were at Rachel's place celebrating her birthday. I completely lost track of time." Her excuse sounded reasonable, but something about her demeanor didn't sit right with me. Was it the way she avoided eye contact, or how her phone buzzed incessantly while she ignored it? I couldn't put my finger on it, but a gnawing sense of unease settled in my chest. That night turned out to be just the beginning. Over the following weeks, Mia's late returns became the norm rather than the exception. Each time she had a new excuse, a work event, a casual dinner, or a last-minute gathering. I tried to be understanding, but the more it happened, the harder it became to ignore. One evening, after yet another unexplained delay, I decided it was time to have a serious talk. "Mia," I said, sitting her down at the kitchen table, "this isn't working. I need to understand why you're out so much and why you can't let me know where you are." She looked at me, her expression defensive. "Tyler, I don't see what the big deal is. I'm an adult. I don't need to report my every move to you." "It's not about reporting," I countered. "It's about respect. We're married, Mia. I don't think it's too much to ask for you to let me know when you're going to be late or where you are. It's not about control, it's about trust." She rolled her eyes. "If you trusted me, this conversation wouldn't even be happening." Her words stung. "It's not about whether I trust you," I said, my voice tight. "It's about how your actions are making me feel. I feel like I'm not a priority anymore, like your friends, and these outings matter more than our marriage." And we went back and forth for nearly an hour, each trying to make the other understand their perspective. By the end of it, Mia reluctantly agreed to cut back on her evening activities, but the damage was already done. Mia stuck to her word for a few weeks, but I could tell she resented the agreement. Her smiles were fewer, her conversations shorter, and her affection waned. The next big event was my promotion, and I was thrilled that I could finally spend more time at home. Mia had always said my work kept me away too much, and I thought now would be the perfect opportunity to focus on our marriage. But life, as it often does, had other plans. That day, I came home early, eager to celebrate the new chapter in my career with Mia. I planned to take her out for a nice dinner, maybe rekindle the spark that seemed to be fading. I entered the house quietly, hoping to surprise her. Instead, I heard her voice drifting from the kitchen. "I don't know if he suspects anything. He was too busy with work to notice, but we need to be more careful." Her words stopped me dead in my tracks. My stomach dropped. My mind raced. Who was she talking to? What didn't I suspect? I stepped into the kitchen abruptly and Mia flinched when she saw me. "Who were you talking to?" I demanded, keeping my voice steady. She laughed nervously. "Tyler, it's nothing, just a colleague. We're planning a surprise for a friend's birthday." Her explanation seemed plausible, but her defensiveness didn't sit right with me. "Why did you sound so secretive?" Mia rolled her eyes. "Because it's a surprise, Tyler. Come on, you're being paranoid." Feeling like I might have overreacted, I apologized. "Sorry, I guess I misunderstood." She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "It's fine. Let's not make a big deal out of this, okay?" I let it go, but the unease lingered. Over the next few weeks, our relationship continued to feel distant. She was glued to her phone more than ever, texting late at night and laughing at jokes I wasn't in on. When her company announced a pre-Christmas corporate party, my anxiety hit its peak. "It's important for work, Tyler," she said when I expressed my hesitation about her attending. "All the key figures will be there. Besides, I'll be back early." Reluctantly, I agreed, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. On the day of the party, I drove her to the country house where it was being held. As we pulled up, my phone rang. A friend calling to congratulate me on my promotion. I stayed in the car for a few minutes to take the call, watching Mia walk toward the house. Then I saw him. A man stood near the entrance, greeting her warmly. He placed a hand on her lower back as they walked inside together. My chest tightened. I brushed it off, telling myself I was overthinking things. But when I got home, the thought kept gnawing at me. Mia's laptop was sitting on the desk in our study, unattended. If there was ever a time to put my suspicions to rest, it was now. As I was driving back from work that evening, a massive traffic jam delayed me. A serious accident had blocked the highway, and I didn't get home until late. I was too exhausted to follow through with my plan to check the laptop. I had just collapsed onto the couch when there was a knock at the door. When I opened it, I saw Mia's sister Olivia standing there, her face pale, her eyes darting nervously. "Olivia, what are you doing here?" I asked. "Can I come in?" she said, her voice shaky. I stepped aside, letting her in. She paced the living room, wringing her hands. "What's going on?" I pressed. "Is everything okay?" She turned to me, tears brimming in her eyes. "Tyler, I didn't know how to tell you this, but I couldn't keep quiet anymore. Mia is cheating on you." My heart sank. The realization hit me like a ton of bricks the moment Olivia, the same sister-in-law I'd known since our early days, confirmed my worst suspicions. My chest tightened with betrayal and anger. I had been blind, trusting Mia with everything while she lived a double life. The fact that Olivia worked in the same company as Mia added credibility to her story. She described how Mia's behavior had changed since joining the new office. The so-called friends she hung out with were infamous for their wild lifestyles. One Olivia mentioned was even in an open marriage. It didn't take long for Mia to fall into their orbit, and soon Olivia noticed Mia spending suspicious amounts of time with a particular male coworker. "That's the same guy," I muttered, remembering the phone call I overheard weeks ago. Olivia nodded, looking uncomfortable. I didn't want to jump to conclusions, but when I saw them at the party, she hesitated, but I encouraged her to continue. "They weren't even subtle, Tyler," she said. "They were all over each other, laughing, whispering, and eventually..." She took a deep breath, looking at me with genuine pity. "I saw them kiss. They disappeared into a bedroom together." I clenched my fists, the betrayal sinking deeper. My wife, the woman I had once loved and trusted, had completely disrespected our marriage. I thanked Olivia for telling me the truth, though it didn't ease the pain. Instead, I grabbed Mia's laptop, hoping to find more evidence to confirm what I already knew. And there it was, a string of texts between Mia and her friends, laughing about how naive I was. Messages from the coworker, flirty, suggestive, and downright disgusting. Plans for meetings, inside jokes about me. It was all there, undeniable and gut-wrenching. I set the laptop aside, my mind racing with anger and disbelief. That's when a thought I'd buried long ago resurfaced. Before Mia and I got together, there was a spark between Olivia and me. We were young and testing the waters, but before anything serious developed, Mia swept in with her charm. She always had a way of taking what she wanted. I hadn't thought much about it back then. Now, I couldn't help but wonder. Had I made the wrong choice? I looked at Olivia. She was sitting across from me, clearly uncomfortable but trying to be supportive. Without thinking, I got up, grabbed a bottle of whiskey I kept for emergencies, and poured us both a drink. To clarity, I said bitterly, raising my glass. To honesty, Olivia replied softly. We talked late into the night. She listened as I vented about Mia's betrayal and the years I had spent trying to make our marriage work. Olivia shared her own frustrations with her sister, admitting that she had always found Mia selfish and manipulative. The conversation became emotional. The whiskey didn't help, loosening our tongues and lowering our inhibitions. Before I realized what was happening, our mutual frustration turned into something more, an outlet for all the pain and anger we had been holding in. We ended up in bed together. The next morning, I was jolted awake by a furious scream. What the hell is going on here? Mia stood in the doorway, her face contorted with rage. I sat up, groggy but defiant. Exactly what it looks like, Mia. Her eyes darted between Olivia and me. Olivia scrambled to cover herself, her face red with embarrassment. How could you? Mia shouted, tears streaming down her face. With my sister? I got out of bed and calmly faced her. Don't act like the victim here, Mia. I know about you and your coworker. You've been cheating on me for months, maybe longer. You disrespected our marriage, and you have the audacity to act outraged? Mia's rage turned into panic. Tyler, I can explain. It wasn't serious. It didn't mean anything. Save it, I snapped. I've seen the texts. I know about the party. You made your choices, Mia, and now I'm making mine. She collapsed onto a chair, sobbing. Tyler, please, we can fix this. I'll quit my job. We'll do whatever it takes. Just don't throw everything away. I shook my head, my voice steady. You threw it away the moment you decided to betray me. There's no coming back from this. Mia turned to Olivia, her desperation turning into anger. And you? How could you do this to me? You're my sister. Olivia, to her credit, stood her ground. How could you do this to him? You've been treating Tyler like dirt, and you expect me to sit back and watch. I'm not the villain here, Mia. You are. Mia stormed out, slamming the door behind her. After our fight, I packed my things and left. It wasn't an impulsive decision. I couldn't stay in that house any longer, surrounded by memories of a life that had turned into a lie. I rented a small apartment downtown, enough space for myself to think and plan my next move. I told Mia over the phone that I was filing for divorce. Her reaction was baffling. Tyler, no, don't do this, she said, her voice shaky. It's not too late. We can talk. We can fix this. Fix this? I repeated, my voice cold. You cheated on me, Mia. You didn't just betray me, you shattered our marriage. It wasn't like that, she argued. It was just a fleeting thing, a mistake. It didn't mean anything. I love you, Tyler. I just needed to relieve some stress. A fleeting thing? The audacity of her words hit me like a slap. She tried to reduce her betrayal to something trivial, like it didn't matter. My mind raced with disbelief. How had the woman I married become so out of touch with reality? I refused to argue further over the phone. Instead, I agreed to meet with her. Not because I wanted reconciliation, but because I needed to sort out the logistics of the divorce. The day of the meeting, we sat across from each other in a neutral location, a coffee shop we once frequented when we were dating. The irony wasn't lost on me. At first, the conversation remained civil. We discussed dividing assets, legal processes, and arrangements for moving forward. I thought we could maintain a degree of decency, but I underestimated Mia. She abruptly changed the subject, leaning forward with a determined look. Tyler, have you ever thought about how the world is evolving? She began. I raised an eyebrow, unsure of where she was going. People aren't the same as they were 50 years ago. Relationships aren't the same, she continued. Monogamy isn't for everyone anymore. Open relationships are normal now. They allow people to explore while staying committed. Maybe we just need to think more modern. I stared at her in disbelief. Are you seriously suggesting that we modernize our marriage by pretending none of this happened? Yes, she said, her tone eager. We could start fresh, forget the mistakes, no secrets this time. We'd set boundaries. It could work. I couldn't listen to another word. I stood up, cutting her off mid-sentence. Mia, this conversation is over, I said firmly. You're trying to rebrand betrayal as some kind of progressive lifestyle choice. I'm not interested. Her expression darkened. As I walked out, I heard her mutter under her breath, You'll regret this. From that point on, Mia's attitude toward me shifted dramatically. What started as pleas for reconciliation quickly turned into hostility. She fought me on every aspect of the divorce, dragging out the process unnecessarily. Property division became a battlefield, and she even tried to use my brief affair with Olivia against me in court. But I didn't back down. I stood my ground, presenting the evidence of her infidelity and maintaining a calm demeanor throughout the legal proceedings. My lawyer was confident, and despite Mia's best efforts, the divorce was finalized after months of exhausting hearings. We divided the marital assets equally, and just like that, the chapter of Mia in my life was officially closed. During this time, Olivia was my rock. Her unwavering support reminded me of the person I used to be before Mia drained me of my self-worth. We began spending more time together, rediscovering the connection we once had. It started innocently. A lunch here, a walk there. But soon, it grew into something deeper. Before long, Olivia and I moved in together. It felt right, like the universe was giving us a second chance to explore what we missed the first time around. Mia, of course, wasn't happy when she found out about Olivia and me. She sent me a string of angry texts, accusing us of betraying her. The irony wasn't lost on me. I didn't bother responding. Mia had no place in my life anymore. Living with Olivia brought a peace I hadn't felt in years. We weren't rushing into anything. We were both wary, still recovering from the mayhem Mia had wrought. However, there was a mutual understanding and a calm solace that came from being with someone who respected and cherished integrity. I had optimism for the future for the first time in a long time.